Tonight's Campfire Conversation asks a strange question. What happens to the human mind when the world suddenly goes silent? Not peaceful quiet, but the kind of silence that strips away the senses we depend on. Many years ago, when the creator of this channel, Dave, was 14 years old, he visited Alcatraz Island during a family trip to San Francisco. During that tour, visitors were briefly allowed to step into one of the prison's isolation cells. When the door closed and the lights went out, something unexpected happened. It wasn't just dark. It was absolute darkness, the kind that presses against you from every direction. There was nothing inside that cell that could physically harm him. No danger, no threat. But the mind didn't care. Within moments, panic began to rise. The silence and darkness felt overwhelming, almost alive. He later described it as if the darkness fell over him like a heavy weight, something that felt suffocating and endless. Even knowing the room was safe didn't stop the reaction. The brain simply wasn't built for that level of isolation. Years later, that experience still stands out as one of the most unsettling moments he ever encountered. And that raises a fascinating question. What happens if we flip the experiment? Instead of a prison cell designed for punishment, what if you step into a room designed for science? In Minneapolis, inside Orfield Laboratories' anechoic chamber, engineers built what is often described as the quietest room on Earth. The chamber measures around minus 24.9 decibels. To understand that number, consider that a quiet library measures about 30 decibels. This room is far quieter than that. Its walls are lined with deep acoustic wedges designed to absorb almost every sound wave. The floor is suspended so vibrations from outside cannot reach the chamber. When someone steps inside, the room does something strange. It removes the outside world from your hearing. With no echoes and no ambient sound, the brain begins noticing something it normally ignores: your own body. Visitors report hearing their heartbeat, the sound of blood moving through their ears, even the faint click of eyelids blinking. The silence becomes so complete that many people begin to feel disoriented after a while. Without sound reflections, the brain struggles to understand the space around it. Standing up can even become difficult, because the inner ear expects acoustic cues that simply aren't there. Most people can only tolerate the room for a short time. The longest widely reported stay is around 45 minutes. Now imagine combining the two experiences: the darkness of the Alcatraz isolation cell and the total silence of the anechoic chamber. One removes sight, the other removes sound. Together, they reveal something remarkable about the human mind. We are not designed for total sensory deprivation. Our brains constantly rely on signals from the world around us: light, sound, movement. Take those signals away and the mind begins searching for something to replace them. Sometimes it finds nothing. Sometimes it begins inventing its own signals. So here's the thought experiment. Would the creator of this channel step into the world's quietest room? The answer is yes, but maybe only for a few minutes, and perhaps with the lights turned off. Not to test bravery, but to explore something fascinating. What happens when the outside world disappears and the only thing left to hear is yourself? Because sometimes the most interesting discoveries are not about the world around us, but about the strange ways our minds respond when the universe suddenly goes silent. Thanks for sitting by the fire tonight. If you enjoyed this story, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on notifications so you don't miss the next conversation. And if you have ideas for future stories, drop them in the comments. Your suggestions help keep the campfire burning. I'm Christy, and I'll see you next time. Until then, pull up a chair, warm your hands by the fire, and remember, the fire never dies as long as people keep showing up.